Welcome to our channel, B&B Spoilers for Thursday, November the 21st. In Wednesday B&B recap, Hope is relieved to see Thomas, while Rich is more concerned than ever about his son. Hope struggles to tell Rich why Thomas is missing. Rich and Steffi are concerned about Thomas after hearing about his indecent proposal to Hope. Thomas explains where he's been since the accident. Shauna's there for Rich once again. Things are getting exciting on the CBS drama. But before we get to that, we have programming notes to pass along. There are impeachment hearings scheduled for Thursday, so there's a chance that Thursday episode will be preempted. But in the event the show airs on Thursday, here's what you can expect. First off, Thomas Forrester will have some serious explaining to do to Hope Logan. As B&B viewers know, Thomas revealed himself to Hope as she was lamenting the fact that Thomas was gone forever and that she would likely to go to jail for his death. The two had an emotional embrace, but what's going to happen now? Thomas will need to explain how he survived his ordeal. Clearly, he didn't fall into acid, so there must have been plain water in the vat. He'll tell Hope the story, and he'll also reveal why he decided to wait 24 hours to make his presence known. Chances are, this will have to do with his revenge plot against Brooke Forrester. Born in the beautiful spoilers, Brooke Forrester is a target. It's likely that Thomas has been present in Brooke's mansion for some time and that he overheard Hope and Brooke talking. If that's the case, then he probably knows that Brooke urged Hope to keep the accident a secret forever, and that Brooke deliberately withheld information about the accident from Rich Forrester. The Born and the Beautiful spoiler said that Thomas will taunt Brooke in an upcoming episode and essentially force her to confess that she deliberately hid information about his death to Rich. It looks like Thomas will have stayed away after the accident as part of a plot to expose Brooke to Rich in order to break up their marriage. B&B spoilers. Rich Forrester gets some much needed support. Meanwhile, on Thursday's new episode of B&B, Shauna Fontaine will lend her support to Rich. As B&B viewers know, Rich has been reeling ever since he found out about Thomas' incident, proposal to Hope, and his disturbing behavior at Forrester Creations. Rich had hoped that Thomas was improving psychologically, but now he's worried that his son is truly lost. Rich feels like what's going on with Thomas is his fault and that he has failed Thomas as a parent. But it looks like Shauna will do her best to convince him that this is not the case. She'll listen to Rich, and as he opens up about his concerns, she'll help him realize that Thomas isn't lost after all. He's just going through a difficult time and needs that support. The Born and the Beautiful viewers can also expect to see a little flirting going on between Rich and Shauna, which shouldn't come as a big surprise, since these two seem pretty attracted to each other. It will be yet another opportunity for them to bond and for Shauna to be there for Rich when Brooke can't be. Thomas visits Hope's dead villain proves a point. How will she react? Thomas Forrester pays a special visit to Hope Logan. He shows up just to prove a point. How will the young woman react, especially since she was convinced that the young man was dead? Born in the Beautiful spoiler, Thomas Forrester death. Last week on the CBS soap opera, host shared what happened that fateful night at Forrester Creations. She went into detail, scene by scene, explaining how she inadvertently killed Thomas. She was convinced that she killed Douglas Forrester's father. Of course, Brooke Logan Forrester tried to reason with her daughter, saying it was self-defense. B&B spoilers. Hope Logan's guilt. The Born and Beautiful spoilers indicate that Hope has been overwhelmed by guilt ever since that night, despite her mother telling her she was just defending herself. Hope says it doesn't matter. She can't get past the fact that her action resulted in someone losing their life. Even though Thomas and Hope have a rocky history, the young woman never meant for things to go so far. Born and Beautiful spoilers. Visiting a killer. It is teased that Thomas is alive and well. He ends up paying a special visit to a guilt-ridden Hope. This should be interesting. Will he understand that it was an accident, or is he bent on getting revenge? Will he force her to be a family with him, or she might go to prison for attempted murder? B&B spoilers, but baffled reaction teased. B&B spoilers imply that Hope will be absolutely baffled to see Thomas living and breathing right in front of her. She was she has barely slept since that night for restorations. Could she be having an insomnia including hallucination? Or will she realize that it really is Thomas standing in front of her? Will she tell him that she's sorry for nearly killing him and will do anything to make it right? Will he take her up on that offer just so he can have his way with her? Fans will have to keep watching the CBS opera to see how this twisted story gets resolved. Rich confides in Shauna. Born and Beautiful fans knew that Hope had to tell Rich that his son is missing. Well, that she can't find him at all, and she's trying so hard to make that happen. We know she did not try to make that happen as she watched his body fall into a vat that was filled with acid. She knows ate his body from start to finish, but she has to make it clear that she didn't have anything to do with it, even though she was there. She lied and she didn't do anything to help. She wanted to confess. We could see her fighting to tell him the truth, but she ultimately did not tell him what happened. She did precisely what her mother told her to do, which was lie about all of this and move on from there with her life. She didn't make it all easy on anyone, but she did make things seem a bit more complex. Rich and Steffi are now very concerned about Thomas after hearing what happened from Hope. She didn't mention the part where he lied or anything like that, but she did share his rather inappropriate proposal to her, and they didn't seem to think that it was wise of him to do that. They are working so hard to figure things out in their own lives, and we are trying hard to figure out what to do, how to do it, and what they will learn. Will someone have seen something and Hope end up in trouble? Or is there a chance that she did something else that we won't know about that might change the game? We don't know right now, but we suspect she might end up telling on herself thanks to her own guilt. What's next on Born and Beautiful? It might be a situation in which we are all confused, but it appears that Thomas is going to show up today and make a mess of a few things. For one, we are going to see him show up and deal with Hope. We can only assume that she is shocked beyond all realm of imagination to see him standing at her door when she was certain he fell into a vat of acid and died. She thought he was dead. She didn't tell the truth. She lied people, and now he is there to show her that she's no different than him or anyone else who lied to her about the baby earlier in the year. He's got a point to prove, and he's right about that. But what will happen when he shares the truth of what happened that night and how she lied about all of it to his friends and to his own family? Furthermore, what is going to happen when Rich finds out that he might not have lost his son? He's not sharing this information with his wife. He's sharing it with Shauna, the woman with whom he's spending entirely too much time considering how she feels for him and how he feels for her. Yet he's a married man who doesn't have room in his life to feel like this. We feel he's nothing short of a disaster right now, and Shauna should recognize that and run as far away as she can in life. She needs to go.